I feel like they don't tell students much about PSEO, and this like the student kind of goes and asks about it themselves.
Yeah, poor
That's the
advertisement.
push. Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Tina.
I'm Finola.
I'm Piying.
And I'm TJ.
And we're doing another PS episode today, and the purpose of this is to have conversations about different and personal experiences throughout people's lives. And today we have our very own Kalyna. And so, Kalyna, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself and tell us a fun fact or hopes and dreams and etc.
Hey, yeah, so if you don't already know, I'm Kalyna. A fun fact would be that I just recently graduated from college, so that's something. A hope and dream? Oh, man, there's a lot. But I think one of them is to probably like travel a lot more than now.
Okay. Well, since you graduated, what is your major?
I am an English major with an emphasis in creative writing.
Yes.
Or I was.
Yes, same here. So then with that, what do you want to do with that?
Like I said before, how I wanted to travel, I wanted to do travel writing, if that's like possible, or like even just write like novels. Maybe not novels, because I feel like that's a bit difficult to do as of like right now, or like just short stories and whatnot.
For those who probably don't know what travel writing is, could you explain more in depth about that?
I feel like because there are like different types of travel writing. Because I feel like because there's some where like companies will like pay you to go somewhere and like you kind of like write about it, or there's some where like people they go live somewhere long term and then they kind of they write about their experience living there. So it kind of just like depends on like what you want to do.
Okay.
Why English? Why major in English?
Honestly, when I first went to college, I didn't want to major in English. I wanted to major in other things. But then ultimately, because I was, how do I explain this? Well, okay, so before, when I was like in high school, I was like really young. Not that young, but I wanted to do music. But then I was like, no, not that. And then, or psychology. But then I went to our orientation, and I was talking to one of our our advisors that we had over there, and she was kind of just asking me what I liked to do, and I was like, oh, I like to like read and write, and she was, oh, like have you thought about being an English major? And I was like, oh, I mean, I guess I should try it out. So for my English class, I took creative writing because I didn't know that was a pathway we can take, and I really enjoyed it, so I ended up sticking with English.
Do you have a favorite author or like book that you've read? Or like an author that you enjoy reading?
I have a favorite book. The book is called Human Acts. Yeah, by Han Kang. So it's kind of what it's about. How do I? Because it's kind of like part fiction, but then like also there's some like creative nonfiction in it, because it tells the story of this young boy who like died in an uprising in Korea. I think it was like 1960 something or 1970 something. And so like the first two chapters are kind of from like his perspective and like his friend who had passed away's perspective, which is like fiction, obviously. And then the rest is about like if they're stories from people who interacted with him like before he passed away. So
What makes that your favorite story?
I think it's just so interesting to kind of like, because I like looking at things from different perspectives. So just being able to see how like all these different people saw this child or just this kid in like so many different ways, which is very interesting. And like the impression that he left on everybody after like they found out he passed away. And then for favorite author, I don't really have a favorite author at the moment, but I probably will say that Jane Austen, who's like really old, her stuff is like pretty good. So she might be one of my favorites, but as of right now, I'm still kind of searching for a favorite too.
So then if you like as a, I guess, reader, writer, or okay, for like for you personally, like do you like reading like or like, genre, that's the word. What kind of genre do you like to read? And would you like write about, if that makes sense? Yeah.
Um, I feel like for genres, I like to read mystery, sometimes like romance, or like as of right now, one of my bigger addictions is like reading webtoons or online comics, and a lot of those online comics that I've been reading, they're more like fantasy type comics. Yeah, those are pretty fun. What else? What did I say? I said mystery,
Yeah, mystery.
romance, and then kind of fantasy. Yeah. Yeah, those are the things I usually read. And then writing wise, man, I've told this like when I write, it either like it's like really not really romantic, but it kind of swings either like to like very dark where it's like killing somebody or somebody dying and like murder, or it goes the other way of like it being a really sweet like love story.
Wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
you were romantic too.
Oh my gosh. So but yeah, I've been trying to like find a way to kind of find the middle to write things in the middle so that I can have more variety of writing.
Where do you get your inspiration from for your writing?
Um, some of it is from personal experience, and then some I like, or like because you know like sometimes like I watch dramas and I'm like not satisfied with like how that drama turned out, so I'm like I'm gonna write not like write something similar, but kind of like take the trope that drama has and then like do it the way I like it. Or like also recently because I took one of the classes that I recently finished was like literary theory, and we talked about tropes in that class. And from that, I kind of wanted to like take tropes and like spin it to like not make it a trope. I don't know if that makes sense. You know, do you get?
I understand. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Can you explain what tropes are in case for other people who
Oh.
may not know?
Yeah,
Like me. I mean, like I kind of know because
Sorry.
we talk about it, but I'm just saying.
Tropes, I guess you could just say like the cliches of certain like for like you know like there's like a trope for how a holiday movie is. So like there's like a main plot of how a holiday movie should go, or like there's the trope of a like rich CEO's relationship with like a person who he's working with, you know, and like obviously like we know how that story is gonna go. Kind of, yeah, those are like tropes.
Okay.
Kind of like all the Christmas holiday movies where there's always a girl who's lonely, finds a guy to pretend to be their date, and they end up together
No,
for
it's
real.
always they lose their Christmas spirit and they have to find it by the end of the movie or so.
Or that too.
I feel like a lot of the Christmas movies are like there's a prince and then there's like a common girl and then
Oh yeah,
they
yes.
get involved with the prince somehow, and then the prince is like, I like her, she's different, I want to marry her after a week.
Yeah.
And so that happens.
Also, like just because we're talking on that, and we'll get back on to did you know that all the like Christmas prince story, or that's on Netflix right now. They're part of a universe, apparently.
are?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah, I read an article about it.
Huh.
What?
Why?
Because in the Princess Switch, the other Prince movie, they were in the movie.
Oh, I
we
know what you're talking
Daniel?
about. Yeah, I know.
You just gotta find an article about it, and yeah, there's
I
some
think I
kind of
saw that.
universe.
That doesn't
going
mean
on.
they're part of a universe. What?
Well,
Who wrote this article? Where
Netflix.
cite your sources?
Anyways.
I'll cut
Oh
this.
Or you can leave it in, get people
Oh,
curious.
You're right. I'll leave it in. Less editing.
Anyways, going back, less editing.
Well, you
Nice.
said, Kalyna, you said that you wrote some of these things from personal experience. I am curious to know what these personal experiences are. Of course, if you're not comfortable sharing, it's okay. But I am also curious, like, have you been in love before? Have you had crushes or something?
All
Like,
right. That's it for today, guys.
What a big question.
Bye.
That's a funny question to ask somebody. Like, have you been in love before?
Like, you know,
Okay, well, I
not
would just
love,
like to
but, like,
point out
secretly crushing
that
or something.
Kalyna has been writing since she was very young.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay.
And so, yeah, just there's a lot of experience there. Okay, take it away, Ka.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I've had like different kind of crushes growing up, so like I used some of that, kind of, yeah, a bit of that, because I'm like, why not? I mean, like, yeah, like part of it is gonna be true, but the rest of it's not gonna be true, so it's not like people are gonna know until like now.
Until
I mean,
now.
not unless you tell which story it is.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then I guess also because for like personal experience, I do sometimes write creative nonfiction, and it's just like giving snippets of certain moments in my life too.
So you said you've been writing since like before high school or middle school or what?
When I was really young, like in
Elementary.
yeah, like in
Really?
elementary school, we had like writers workshop. Yeah, I had a great time with writers workshop. Yeah, I started
Okay.
from there.
I know this because you kept making stories about like some of us, and you wanted to use like real names so that we can make those stories be our fantasies, but in our fantasies are real life.
What? Oh, that
Heard of that?
was like all the way in like third grade, fourth grade.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dang.
I was in my head a lot.
We all were.
Oh my god.
You still have those?
No, I don't know. I think because they were saved in a computer, and then that computer broke.
Oh, thank goodness.
Wait, so in third grade you typed it out?
Yeah, you didn't know that.
No, I mean I knew you wrote things, but like I didn't know, like just thinking like because like in third grade, I feel like I wouldn't have learned really to like use Word. Like,
Because
Google
also
Docs.
was
Or
it? Or
Google
maybe
Docs in.
that was
says.
more like fourth, fifth grade. Because I know also that was like the time in my life where, because of like some of our other friends, you know, they like go on like those websites where they like write short stories or like write fan fiction. Yeah, there was that too. Those are really bad. When I look back, I'm like, I hope those stay hidden forever.
Oh my gosh. That would be great if you were to read some of your old fan fictions. See how cringy it is?
Ew.
See how your writing developed?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Well, since you graduated, how old are you?
I am 20.
So then, assuming you probably did PSEO to graduate this early then?
Yes, I did. I started in my junior year of high school.
How did you hear about it, and like what made you decide to do it, and like pros and cons of it?
Okay, so first, I think because Fanola, my sister, if you guys didn't know, she did hers for senior year. And so like my mom was like, oh yeah, like you get to like go to college, you get college credit and you get high school credit and it's for free. So I was like, oh, like why not? And I think in my like sophomore year of high school, I was like really thinking about it because I heard we can do it for junior year also. So then I was almost not gonna do it for junior year, but then with like my mom and dad, they're just like, just do it. So I did it. For like the first semester, I was part time, and then I transitioned to full time the next semester after that. And I mean, it was nice. It was fun. I was able to meet a lot of older college friends and people. I liked it because I think a lot of like the people who I was in class with, like there's not a lot of, what do you call it, misbehaviors. Misbehavior? Yeah, and there was like you had like a lot more freedom, and I had a lot of time on my hands, which was really nice. But then again, it just meant I had to improve on my time management, which I was okay at. I think like one of the downfalls about doing PSEO was just that it was kind of hard to like stay within high school, if that made any sense. Because once I transitioned full time to be a PSEO student, oh, yeah, I didn't go to my high school as often, and so like I didn't really talk to people in my class, not my class, in my high school class, and I didn't really get to know them as much as I would like to. But I mean, not like, oh, like it doesn't matter. That's like, it's kind of, I guess it's okay because I'm still friends. I still have my high school friends who I am very close to, and who I still keep in touch with, and who I still meet up with. And also, I graduated early. So if you want to graduate from college early, I would recommend you to do it. It's a lot of fun.
What kind of advice would you give to or students who are wanting to do PSEO, and if they're watching?
I would say to kind of take that chance because I know there are a lot of college kids like who would look forward to meeting PSEO students. Like a lot of the students who I went to school with at my college, they were like, we were really excited to see. I don't know why. We were just really excited to see PSEO kids. We're like, oh my god, you're a PSEO? That's so cool, and they got along really well. So yeah, I mean, it's not that scary. I think you'll learn to really like kids.
I feel like during my year when I did PSEO, there wasn't a lot of kids, so there wasn't like a PSEO kids community because then they're all like college students. But I feel like Kalyna's year and like kids in the next coming years after her, there were more kids, so then there was more of a PSEO community. And because when I was doing PSEO, I felt lonely, but I felt like her year and like the year afterwards, because there are more kids, and they're more comfortable like hanging out with the college kids.
It wasn't
Or maybe
PSEO like a new thing during our time in high school. It was like there was something else before PSEO. It wasn't like College Possible or something.
Oh, I mean, I know there was the AP classes.
And CIS. I don't know if you guys had
Oh
CIS,
yeah,
college and
CIS
school.
too.
Yeah, something, I don't know, all these other different programs. There's this, yeah, I totally regret not doing PSEO. I just decided to go straight into the workforce, so that wasn't a smart move. Don't do that. I mean, not to say that the program I did was bad. I did gain a lot of experience, but I do regret not doing PSEO instead because now I'm going back to school and things are hard.
fun fact, PSEO was created in 1985.
Oh wow.
So it's been a while for a long time. But I feel like it's just not like well known because like I don't remember my counselors telling me that like, hey, this is another option for you to do
Yeah.
besides, you know, like attending regular high school classes. So
I feel like they don't tell students much about PSEO unless like the student kind of goes and asks about it themselves.
Yeah. Poor
Plus
advertisement.
they push AP and IB a lot more from what I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For
don't know
some
why.
stupid reason. I could have been done with school by now, but no. I'm so mad about it. Okay.
but I think it's just because of the level. That's why people, because then like if you fail your college course, then you basically kind of fail your high school course because then your grade like whatever grade you get in college is your grade. I think it might be like a letter grade higher in high school, but then because if you fail it, then you're gonna have to make up somehow. And I think that might be why counselors don't really say it unless like you're like your GPA is pretty high, because then it kind of I guess I don't know why, but like I guess it determines or shows that like you work really hard and you can probably make it in college at a high school age.
I don't
Is
think
what I
that's
think.
but
But
what they should have done if that is what they did.
yes,
It should
yeah.
be an opportunity for everyone, not just high graded students.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree because it was never offered to me because my GPA wasn't at the standard or their standard or requirements. I was like, that's rude because I mean like I'm not like poor, but like it would be nice to like just save money. Like even though my parents make enough for me to go to college, but like I that's still like help that I need,
Mhm.
But yeah, it was never offered to me because my GPA was not qualifying. So that's rude.
Anyways, would you recommend PSEO? You said yes, right?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. If your counselors don't tell you about it, ask them about it. Do it, or else you'll regret it, like me.
You kind of sounded like an old man.
I'm not that old, but I do regret it. Okay,
Mm,
moving on.
Um, just another question about PSA. What would you say was like um a challenging moment in your PSEO season of life?
Uh,
Or was it like pretty easygoing?
no, I think the spring semester of my junior year was kind of hard, or like junior and high school year for PSEO, because I think that was because when I started my senior year, I had some friends who did PSEO with me, and then in my junior year, I didn't really my junior year, I didn't really have much of like my own friends. I kind of just like floated around a bit, and eventually I got tired of like floating around, and I kind of just like stayed to myself in junior year. Yeah, that would probably be it. Cause I also like didn't go to my high school, so like I didn't really interact with my high school friends either.
Yeah, you go into this weird limbo of school and college in a part of your life where you're still trying to figure out what to do next. You know?
So I know that when you were doing PSEO and dealing with high school, you were also very involved in the church. So do you mind like kind of sharing what you did within the church?
Yeah, okay. So in high school, I spent a lot of my time in the children's ministry, like yeah, working with this with our puppet ministry and within the children's ministry. And like when I first started out in puppet, I was a student, and like usually for our church, our puppet ministry is like third grade to like whenever.
Sixth grade.
So, yeah, take us only third to sixth grade, but sometimes if you're like seventh, eighth grade, we like let it slide. But yeah, I mean, right when I hit sixth grade or seventh grade, I like there was like this transition to like being a leader for that ministry, which was it was so random because I feel like we were just like thrown into it, and it's like, okay, now you're leading, and we're just like, oh, what do we do? But I think with a lot of trial and error, we were able to kind of navigate our way to like how we can make this ministry work, and like what, like, as leaders do we have to do to help our kids kind of improve on their skills in the ministry. And then like in like middle school, I was still obviously within the puppet ministry as a leader, but then I was also attending our youth ministry as a student.
You mean
And
high
then,
school? You said middle school. Oh wait, or did you mean? Oh, you meant to say middle school.
yeah, middle school.
Okay,
Because,
okay.
yeah,
'Cause I
because
was,
youth
I
is
was like, wait,
middle
got
school
it.
and high school. So yeah, and then throughout all of that, I was still, yeah. So I've been in the puppet ministry for a while, and then after I graduated from our youth ministry, I became a leader for our youth ministry too.
What, with like being a part of the ministry, do you ever feel like you're burnt out, or like you need to rest, or like, um, or just like how do you keep yourself going? Because it seems like you've been continuously in ministry, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. I think for sure because I had like my friends in those ministries that help. Like if I'm too tired to kind of like do something, I know I can rely on one of my teammates to kind of fill in for me. Or like if I needed to take a break from a certain ministry, then I would take a break from it. Yeah. So I was able to like take breaks and then know that I'm able to like rely on my team to help out whenever I needed the help.
Kind of going back to puppet, can you explain like what is like a daily routine that you would do in the ministry, and like what kind of puppets you use? Because there's like ventriloquist puppets or half puppets or puppets with arms, and yeah.
Um, yeah, so for puppet ministry, usually when our practices are like every Saturday at 10 a.m. Yeah, and it's like 2 hours, so it's like 10 to 12. And usually because it depends, because we're not just focused on puppets, we kind of do other things also. I wouldn't call it dancing, but I guess just like dancing or like movement. I don't, yeah. So we usually, if we are trying to prepare for like a big performance for the holidays or whatnot, we'll come in at 10, do like a small devotional from like 10 to 10:15 if everybody comes on time. If not, that drags on to like 10:30 because you're sitting and waiting for everyone. And after that 10:30 to like 12, we kind of practice. And sometimes if we are going to be working with our puppets, our actual puppets, those are those, would those be called like half body? Half?
I think so, because it's only the waist and up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we'd be using like our half puppets, and we'll just do, what are they called?
Aerobics.
Yeah, there we go. Aerobics for it. And that's like 15 minutes too. But if we're not, then we kind of just go straight into what we're practicing for the holidays. But if we're not performing for the holidays and we're kind of doing the introduction for the children's ministries Sunday school, then we kind of we give like scripts out to our kids, and we have them read the scripts to like bring their character of the script that they have alive. If that makes sense. Yeah, and we like kind of just practice that. Or if not, we have extra time, we will try to do some improv games or like some activities to, because they have like so much energy, just to like let their energy get out.
What would you say is your favorite puppet performance, like out of the other variety that you have done?
Man, I don't know. I liked a lot of them. I feel like our dancing ones or our movement ones where the kids have to like move their body is really nice. I mean, it's like a struggle to teach them the moves and to like make sure they actually like memorize it. But I think when you like kind of just watch them having fun with it, or like when they accomplish something, or when they know that they got it right, how happy they are, I'm like, that's like good job. Yeah.
Good job.
Good job. Yeah.
A little tangent, but I like all of our blacklight performances.
Oh, those are always good. Yeah. I think that's the one where everybody gets most excited for.
Yeah. I think those are like the most fun too, since they're extra hyper during that time.
With your like other ministry, just to kind of talk about the other ones, what would you say are some of your favorite moments, or why, yeah, like favorite moments of being part of those ministries, or why you're a part of those ministries, I guess.
No, there's just like so much fond memories I have of being in the youth that I'm like really thankful for. I think because I know I was like able to like deepen a lot of my relationships with my friends through the youth ministry, which is something I really appreciate. Because not that I'm saying like I would never be deep with you guys, but it's just like wow, like we were able to kind of put ourselves not put ourselves, but like we're able to kind of actually sit down and like talk to each other in a very serious manner and like talk about things that matter to us.
Like being vulnerable.
Yes. And then kind of like being a leader now, I love seeing like just all the youth just enjoy each other's company, because I feel like our youth now is a lot different from the youth I remember growing up, because I think I love how not integrated, but like how comfortable our male students and female students are with each other, as like they can be like really good friends and they can just like play jokes on each other and whatnot, or like they can just sit down and have a serious conversation with each other when they like want to, whereas when growing up we were very segregated, and it was hard to kind of like talk to the guys, because we had like that fear of like, oh my gosh, if we like talk to those guys, then they're gonna be like thinking something's probably gonna be happening, but it's like no, we just want to be friends. And yeah, I think, yeah, and I feel like it wasn't, not like it wasn't encouraged, but yeah, it wasn't like very encouraged for us to kind of get to know our brothers more. Know that?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember being split up a lot. I don't know, like girls would sit on one half of the room, guys on the other half. I don't know if it was like required, but it just naturally happened. And then I remember during like, I don't know if it was a college retreat. I think it was a college retreat. It was my first college retreat. I was a first year in college, so that was probably, I think it was first year, I don't know, 2016, 2017. And they had us not confront each other, but like, guys, what do you think about like that? We had that little conversation, and
Oh,
it was kind of awkward, but I appreciated the fact that they're trying, and just kind of seeing the youth now, the ones that you're a leader for. I really do like how they all seem like they're all really good friends, no matter if they're like a boy or a girl. But yeah,
I know, I wish I grew up like that in a community like that. But then again, yeah, at that time, it's just
Yeah.
it's just weird. Like we weren't supposed to, like that. People always assume like, oh, you must like him, or like parents like, oh, you shouldn't be with, you know, a boy, or you can't be friends with a boy. But
yeah.
like, I think that's like a brotherhood, sisterhood that I feel like my generation kind of missed out on, because now it's like awkward.
yeah,
Hey,
the people aren't with each
hi.
other, even though we've known each other
Oh.
for like almost a decade.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't
But
know.
I think now with some guys, I'm okay with talking to them, especially if I've been serving along with them. It's been easier, but sometimes, it's awkward still for others, but like we're getting there. At some point, we'll meet.
Get to the middle.
I would just like to reiterate that my only guy friend is TJ. So, and that took like 6 years.
Man.
But yeah, I think like when they segregated us, I understand that was for like privacy. Like if the guys want to talk about something with just guys and the girls want to talk about something with just girls. But I feel like at the end of the day, like we should have came together and like talk about both sides if we felt comfortable enough to share that. But we never really did. I felt like they never really encouraged us to do so. Like it was just, don't tell anyone about this. I'm like, okay. But so then how do you expect me to open up? And anyways, another tangent. So going back to Kalyna. But yeah. So like you just had like a lot of fond memories as a student, and now being a leader, it's just a little, it seems different because the students are different than how we were as students.
Yeah, and I kind of just liked seeing that change. And I kind of like, I like seeing that change, and like from how we were, because like from the last time I've been in the youth, it hasn't been that long. It's been like 2 to 3 years. And all that changed within that 2 to 3 years. And it's just like, wow, I wished it was like that when I was still there. Yes, and I also like just because I am familiar with a lot of the younger youth, because some of them were in our puppet ministry, and not like I just what is a good like I just love seeing them, and I just like like sometimes their energy is a bit too much for me. Don't get me wrong, but I really do love their company, and like when I see them all like very happy together, it makes me like happy too. I feel like a mom when I say that, but
Gosh.
yeah.
Would you ever consider like teaching English for middle schoolers? Because you have that kind of like being with youth or teaching or leading a youth group background. Did you ever want to teach English to them?
Man.
That's a no.
I mean, it's not like I wouldn't mind, but I know that I'm not that good at teaching. I feel like instead of making them understand English more or like enjoy it more, they're just gonna get more confused and more irritated. Yeah, because I feel like I make things more confusing than it's supposed to be, although I'm not trying to.
I remember, so Kalyna had to do a teaching English assignment for her class. So when did you do it in front of your class?
I did.
How did you feel when you had to teach in front of your class, or like thinking about the process of like what you had to do as a like teacher for your English class? Like how did you? Sorry, kind of going backwards, but just because I was curious.
I don't know how I did. I think as long as I showed that I understood what I was doing, I was fine. But I don't know if like, cause like my classmates who I was like teaching, they obviously know the information that I'm teaching already. So obviously they would get it. If I were to teach it to like somebody who doesn't know, I don't know if they'll get it.
So like middle schoolers, probably not.
Yeah.
Would you like tutor someone, like in English then, or teaching in general is just no?
I think I can maybe tutor, maybe. I've never tried it, but I think I can. Or like just help them, not help write their papers, but kind of like help get their flow of writing their papers going, rather than kind of just be like, oh, you should like say this and this and this.
So then just trying to go back in a circle, how does your faith like impact you as a person?
As a person, I feel like where should I start? I mean, I feel like because with like school wise or like with like my major wise, I no, is that it? Yeah, yes. I mean, at least I don't know where to start. Cause I mean, I think just like my life in general, like faith wise, I think it kind of like impacts me like how I treat people, but like with just like how intentional I want to be with them. I don't, just because trying to like build those genuine relationships, although I do have a really hard time doing that, like at least making an attempt to build those relationships to like be able to hopefully share the gospel with them and like share oh, like the love of God to my friends and to like those around me. And then with like, because I know a lot of people, how a lot of people do say how like with in our lives we like live in a way to like glorify God. I try to do that, but although I know sometimes it's hard. Wait, is that did I word it right? I feel like I feel like the words are gonna get a little muddy and but yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Not to
Doesn't
be
it?
rude, but I heard a lot of yeah.
Wait, no, what was your question again?
How does your faith impact you as a person?
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, just like being like more intentional with my like relationship with others. And I don't want to say like, oh, I'm trying to like be a good person because obviously everybody wants to be a good person, but like to like kind of be a person who kind of reflects Jesus and like God for like other people to see. And like obviously like because of sin that is difficult to do, but then that doesn't mean I can't try. Yeah. I don't know if that answered your question.
Does anyone else have any questions or
I think that's a good note to end on.
okay.
Who's our favorite sibling?
Oh my god.
Kidding.
In Christ. So
Okay.
Well, thanks, Ka, for sharing all of that with us. And I hope you guys enjoy getting to know Ka on a deeper level. And thanks again for watching our video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and also comment any additional questions you might have for any of us or even Ka. And also remember to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.